Naruto veers his spell, and this is the compilation of all the parts of What If Naruto Was in Fairy Tail so far. Now, if you like this content, make sure to like, comment. A lot of that will determine whether or not, how much time I put into this What If. And without further ado, let's begin this compilation. Our story starts off shortly after Sasuke left the village. Naruto and Jiraiya would be traveling around for about a month. Naruto being frustrated that Jiraiya's not teaching him anything. He keeps saying he can teach him how to make the Rasengan bigger, but he has some misgivings about that. He wants to learn how to use fancy techniques. As one day, Jiraiya would just tell him to wait in an area, as he needed to check in with a contact. Naruto would groan, knowing that Jiraiya is probably going to do some unseemly things. As hours went on, Naruto would spend a few hours training, and then get bored. He had started learning how to use his clones more effectively, but even so. But before long, as Naruto would be waiting there, as he heard a sound, as he turned around seeing a vortex. The closest thing he could think of that it looked like a water going down a drain, but in reverse, as out of it came a man, a black jacket with red clouds on it. Naruto gulped, knowing that was a member of the Akatsuki. But this wasn't Itachi, or that fish guy that was with him. It was a man with a masked face with only one eye showing. As this man said, "Hello, Naruto. Or should I call you the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki?" As Naruto gulped as he summoned a number of clones. As Naruto knew if this man was anything like the Itachi or the man Itachi was with, he should run. As Naruto used the creation of his clones to try to escape, since he knew he had no chance. He had to go get Jiraiya. As Naruto remembered a little piece of paper Jiraiya gave him, as he tore it. This would hopefully send a signal to Jiraiya to say he was in trouble. As in town, Jiraiya would be talking to a woman as his pocket would start to burn. He would reach in and see the piece of paper as his eyes went wide. He quickly said, "I hope to talk to you later." As he quickly disappeared as he started rushing back to Naruto. As Naruto noticed that clouds were rolling in for no apparent reason. As he quickly received flashes of memory. His clones had been destroyed with a large fireball, as this man appeared in front of him. As he tried kicking it, as his foot went straight through the man, his eyes opened wide. As he came out the other side, the man turning around and grabbing him. As the man said, "I decided to get you early. After all, it'll only be more of a hassle later." As Naruto quickly made hand signs summoning more clones, as they started to rush him. The man started to have some issue, but quickly managed to dodge and strike them back. As Naruto decided to try to fight, as he unleashed a paper bomb, which blew up the tree they were standing on, the man seemingly disappearing. But before Naruto could celebrate, he seemed to appear out of the ground. As Naruto was shocked, his reaction was delayed a second as he was grabbed by the throat. As the man started sucking Naruto into this weird vortex, Naruto would feel something from the seal. A weird light, as the storm clouds above him were circling oddly. As Jiraiya managed to see Naruto right as he got sucked away, but a red/yellow light would pop as Naruto would disappear. Jiraiya would say, "No!" as he rushed the man. The man would be befuddled before he realized Jiraiya was attacking him. As the man quickly used his abilities and escaped. As the man would manage to escape, as Jiraiya just looked around, saying, "How could I fail them again?" But wait, that man looks surprised in that disappearance. Is it possible Minato built some defense in the seal that I wasn't aware of? As Jiraiya quickly decided to try to figure something out, he had Naruto sign the Toad Scroll so he could summon them. As he quickly thought of that and pulled out his scroll, seeing Naruto's name, he knew he was alive, but he wasn't sure where. As the masked man appeared a ways away, as this weird plant figure would come out of the ground, as the man would say, "Zetsu, do you have any idea where he went?" As Zetsu said, "I don't know. Though I know there was a dimensional disturbance. Those clouds caused it. And his disappearance. It reminds me of seeing the fourth, but there was something different about it." As we flash to Naruto, as he would be waking up groggily, as he would see a few people surrounding him, as he couldn't really make out what they were saying. As one was saying, but he could kind of tell they're speaking a language. With one person saying, "I'm glad to see you're awake. What's your name?" Tried speaking but he realized his throat was completely parched. As she said, "Oops, sorry." As she walked out of the room and came back with a pitcher of water, she said, "You must be thirsty. Drink." As she said, "A couple of our members found you passed out in the woods. My name's Mira, and we've brought you to the Fairytail Guild." As Naruto finished drinking, he actually couldn't really understand a word she said. As he started saying, in his language, that what's a guild, what's Fairytail, and where's Pervy Sage? The white-haired girl Mir Jane would hold up a finger with the almost universal gesture for 1 minute. As Mir Jane would go down and get a couple people. No, as a short man walked up. Naruto couldn't see what he was saying as Naruto asked, "The man, do you speak my language?" The old man said, in a weird pitched speech, saying, "Sort of. I've heard and seen many things in my time, but your language is definitely different. I've heard a similar thing, but nothing quite the same." As Naruto could kind of tell what he was saying, as man would say, "Mara Jane, you can go ahead and tell the other Zays awake, and get me a medallion from our storage building. It's gonna be the Medallion of Comprehend Languages, or at least that's what it's gonna be listed under." As Mary Jane went down, as a few shuffles could be heard, as a pink-haired man appeared and said, and started talking to Naruto. As he was bombarded with questions before the old man said, "Natsu, you can stop pestering him. Give him Mary Jane a minute to get the medallion." A couple minutes later, Mary Jane came back holding a medallion. Makarov motioned for Naruto to put it over his head, and he did. And he could understand them, but he noticed that if he took the medallion off just a little, he couldn't understand what they were saying. As the pink-haired man would say, "My name's Natsu, Fairytail's resident dragon slayer. And the person who helped find ya. Over there's my new friend, Lucy." And as he pointed towards the cat, "And that's my new And that's my best friend Happy. We're the three that found ya. As Naruto shook his head and said, Glad to meet you. Where am I? How far away am I from the land of fire? As Natsu said, What's the land of fire? Makarov saying, Do you come from a place called the land of fire? Naruto having a bad feeling about this, nodding and saying, I have never heard of that place. You're in a place called Fiore. As Naruto's jaw nearly hit the floor, he had no idea where he was. And if they were so far away they didn't know of one of the major lands, as he quickly said, Hidden Leaf Village? As Makarov shook his head saying, I've never heard of a Hidden Leaf Village. As Naruto realized he was a long way from home. Naruto was shocked that he was apparently so far away. No one knew what the elemental nations were. He was also a little shocked that there was a medallion that could translate languages. He had never imagined such a thing. He had heard Jiraiya talk about seals, but those didn't seem to be quite like this. As a pink-haired man walked up to him and said, Hey, I'm Natsu. One of the people who found ya. And I'm a dragon slayer. Nice to meet ya. Naruto was a little confused with all those words, but he did understand them. As he also realized, what's a dragon slayer? As he said, we have the powers of dragons to defeat dragons and, slay them. Naruto was a little taken aback, mostly because weren't dragons just mythical? As the blonde behind him said, Natsu, stop trying to get in his face. As she walked up and introduced and just said, Sorry, he can get a little hyper at times. As a blue cat floated down beside her and saying, Yep, he gets like that. As Naruto said, My bad, my full name is Naruto Uzumaki. As everyone else, as they nodded. As he said, So, what's a guild? As everyone looked at him, but considering he had just apparently told them that he was from somewhere so far away they'd never heard of, it didn't exactly surprise them when they thought about it. As Makarov decided to take the lead and say, a guild is where various people come together to perform jobs or to complete a specific goal. For instance, Fairytail is a wizard's guild. Wizards gather here primarily to work, but also to be safe. And to have others to rely on. Naruto nodded, thinking that sounded a lot like a village. But from things he heard, he didn't know exactly how similar they were applicable to. As Makarov continued, we brought you to the main guild building. When they found you, you seemed to have been exhausted and passed out. Naruto nodded. Presuming you're so far from home, it's doubtful you have any money you could expend to buy clothes or even have any sort of roof over your head. I think we can offer you a job helping to clean up the place. As Naruto nodded, as Makarov said, let me show you around the place. As they went downstairs, Naruto was surprised. It seemed that it was a large bar area with people sitting, and a pretty white-haired woman behind the counter. As Makarov waved her over and said, This is Mira Jane, Fairytail's cover girl, along with our local barmaid. As Makarov said, okay, gonna insert this a while back. Naruto would introduce himself again. Makarov asked, Can you use magic in any way? After all, this is a wizard's guild. As Naruto nodded, as he asked, magic? Mockroff nodded. As Naruto said, I don't think that word translated well, but what do you mean? As Natsu walked up and said, wow, either that translator isn't very good or from a really weird place if you don't know how to use if you don't know magic. As he lit his hand on fire. Naruto being surprised, but nodding, as he decided to bring out his hands, perform using the hand signs for shadow clones, as he made 3. As Natsu said, "Ha, you got it, that's magic." As Naruto just said, where we come we call it ninjutsu, and I think it might be a little different. Mockroff nodding. That could be the case. I've heard of different places having slightly different magic. As Naruto said, yeah, either way we can get this place cleaned up in no time. As Mockroff said, it is possible you might be able to join Fairytail if you wish. After all, this is a gathering place for wizards. Naruto would pause at this, as he simply asked, would you be just fine with me staying here for a while? As Mockroff said, no issue. Your power might be a little odder than we're used to, but that's nothing new. As Naruto thought to what their reaction would be if they knew he had the Nine Tails inside of him. Imagining scorn. As he heard a small ruckus behind him, as Mockroff said, speaking of having abnormalities, as I also turned around and seed one of the black-haired people, he's walking around in his boxers, as he heard some random guy saying, Gray! Clothes! As he seemed to stop and realize that he was in his underwear. Naruto seriously started to question what their reaction would be. As we flashed to somewhere else, as a cloaked man would arrive, saying, I can't believe following through the disturbance actually worked. But I wonder where is that boy? As we would flash forward sometime later, Naruto would have made some money cleaning and be helping out around the guild. But he was debating whether or not joining. In fact, it would be a full month. The lullaby incident would have gone off without Naruto getting involved, and Natsu would steal the S-ranked job request, with Naruto, once again, not really being involved in that incident. He was becoming good friends with Natsu, Gray, and Lucy, but he wasn't quite in with their shenanigans, primarily since he hadn't joined the guild yet. As we flash over a month, Naruto had found a cheap apartment to rent. He groaned as he got up. In some ways, it was worse than his previous one. As he got on his shirt, as he started to think, I haven't found a way to get back home yet, and Jiraiya hasn't tried contacting me. Maybe I should join the guild and try to see if they can teach me anything. After all, just doing push-ups isn't necessarily going to get me strong enough to beat Sasuke. If I just keep training my muscles, I'll just be a copy of Lee. As he would get to the guild hall, as he would be in shock, as metal beams would be shooting out the sides and the top, as he rushed to where the master was standing to find out what was going on. As we flash to the masked man, opening up another portal, and entering and coming out the other side. As he said, I have some interesting discoveries to tell you, Nagato. As a man with orange hair, as Nagato said, I don't know what you can tell me. You've only been gone a few hours. The man stopped, looked at him and said, What do you mean I've only been gone 12 hours? I've been gone a month. The guild had just been attacked. Naruto would help the guild master up on his feet. As Naruto made clones and helped clean up the guild hall just enough so they can reach the basement, Naruto was fuming. They had attacked the people who were kind to him. Sure, he hadn't told them about Nine Tails yet, but they were still kind to him. As Natsu would come in furious. Everyone knew it was Phantom Lord. But the master was right. If Fairytail counterattacked, it could be trouble for them. Naruto understood the concept, as he remembered back to the academy, when one of the students asked why one of the previous Kage just didn't launch an all-out attack or took other measures. The teacher referred to something as scale of escalation, where if someone takes it to the next step, then the retaliation would logically be equal, if not greater. But Naruto was a ninja. Though he was just a genin, he knew how to sneak around. He was planning on launching a surprise attack on some Phantom Lord base in the coming days. He chuckled to himself. Let's see how they like their base getting covered in paint. After all, he had been doing his pranks since he had learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He was pretty sure he could hit multiple bases and tag them. He wasn't going to tell the Guildmaster or Natsu about. After all, they logically couldn't be responsible if they didn't know. As Makarov got tired, as he made an announcement to the group that it's fine if you take jobs. We'll start repairing the guild hall soon. But for right now, I want all of you to bunk up, just for a few days. We don't want anyone getting harassed. Naruto wasn't sure who he could spend the night with, as he hadn't made a ton of friends, so he was wondering who he could ask, as he remembered Mara Jane, as he wound up asking her if she had an extra room. She said no, but if he didn't mind, he could sleep on their couch. Naruto would accept happily, and nothing much would happen that day. He would be just fine with sleeping on the couch, but also noticed that there was more space here than he would have expected for two people. As he got up, he would brush his teeth before heading out. He would see a crowd of people in the park. He would walk over to just be horrified. Team Shadow Gear, 3 of the Fairytail members, as they all had the Phantom Lord guild mark on them, as Makarov was there. As Naruto realized he was radiating killing intent, as his staff broke, as he announced Fairytail was going to war. As the guild would launch their counterattack, Naruto would be told to stay behind. Since he technically wasn't part of the guild, and he was so young, Makarov wanted him to stay behind at the main guild building. Naruto would sigh, as him and Lucy were in charge of watching over Jet and Joy and Levi. As he would hear, as Lucy had stepped out for a few minutes to pick up some stuff while Naruto watched them. Makarov's old friend had already been in and out. She said they would recover soon. He'd think it was odd it had started raining so soon, as he heard a ruckus from outside. He would see Lucy being grabbed by someone dressed in blue. He would jump out the window and attack, launching several kunai and shurikens at the person. They would go through since her body was made out of water, as she attacked him, hitting him with a blast of water. As she said, "You're not my goal," before knocking him aside. Naruto would get back up but would be surrounded by water, as he started to think back to the Zabuza incident, thinking that this was a lot like the water prison. As Naruto would pass out, he would wake up a few minutes later, as he would be surprised, as he couldn't see Lucy. He saw her keys, though, as he grabbed them. He would rush to get Natsu to help him find where they had taken Lucy. They would actually run into each other, as Natsu had thought something was off as well. And as soon as Naruto informed Natsu on what happened, they quickly rushed off to find Lucy. They would approach one of Phantom Lord's towers, located not too far away from town, as they would actually see Lucy jump out. Natsu would quickly tell Happy to go grab her, as Happy shot forward and managed to catch her. Happy managed to get her down to the ground with only complaining slightly about her weight. Natsu would pick her up so they could run faster as they started to retreat. A number of Phantom Lord members would rush out to try and intercept them as Naruto created a flurry of clones, who would wind up fighting them, with all the clones being dispersed, but the real Naruto Natsu, Lucy, and Happy would all manage to escape, and they would manage to get Lucy back to the guild hall without much issue. We start off this what if with Lucy explaining to everyone that she was actually a runaway. Her father was actually rich, and that he had hired Phantom Lord to get her, which kickstarted all these events. She also mentions that the Guildmaster Phantom Lord has kind of gone a little insane, with Naruto remarking, "Wow, that's something," with Lucy also mentioning, "Where's Makarov?" with everyone looking sullen. Naruto also confused. As Urza said, Master was ambushed during the attack. Magical power was drained. He's currently recovering away from here, but he wasn't in good shape. As that made Lucy even sadder. As Naruto looked pained, he remembered. To him, wasn't that long ago since the third Hokage died, and they both gave off a similar energy, as they did feel a little different in the emotions they gave off much of the time. As Urza went to go take a shower to clear her head to think about what they should do next, while the others were planning what to do, Naruto heard several people talking about getting explosives or some sort of next retaliatory strike. Lucy began to tear up while Mary Jane tried to comfort her. Naruto had noticed their summons, similar to his in some ways, but he hadn't actually gotten around to talk to her. In fact, as he thought, I should probably try to work with the toads more. As he went over to tell Lucy that it wasn't her fault and that her father wasn't really that good of a guy if he sent people to kidnap her instead of, either coming to get her himself or really doing anything else, but instead he hired a group of people to kidnap her and presumably attack her friends. Though Lucy did try to defend her father by saying, "From the way the Phantom Lord Guildmaster was talking, I don't think my father had hired them to actually attack you guys. I think he's doing that out of his own initiative, with the goal of blackmailing my family." But this seemed to cheer up Lucy a little bit, as Naruto started to feel something in the ground, as someone rushed in and said, It's, as Naruto rushed out with everyone else. It was the Phantom Lord base walking in a giant mech, as Naruto thought back to the Nine Tails, and this thing is almost the same size. As Naruto gulped, starting to realize that this was a big deal. I started to think about what could he do, as he remembered back to the toads. Maybe he could summon something, as he went through hand signs, hoping to get Gamabunta. As he just put some hand signs together and slapped down, as Gamakichi showed up. "Hi, Naruto! How you doing? Durant's been looking all over for you." Naruto was less than impressed, as he said, "Yeah, where's your father?" "Busy." "Well, what are you needing him for?" As Naruto just picked him up and turned him around, as he looked back and said, "Ah! What's that thing?" As Naruto said, "Yep." "So..." As Gamakichi poofed away. "Oh, come on!" As Naruto then looked up and saw a massive buildup of energy. As Naruto thought, okay, I would do the same thing. As he began to panic, thinking what to do. As he noticed Urza rushing out in just a bath towel after coming out of the showers. As she quickly re-equipped into her adamantine armor. As a massive blast of energy came at them. It was so bright. He couldn't look at it. But it managed to destroy Urza's armor, but she had managed to stop it. As members rushed up to Urza and quickly got her out of the direct line of harm. What was that? Naruto yelled. As one of the female guild members walked up, he was pretty sure her name was Bisca. Said, that was a Jupiter cannon. I'm surprised they used it. As Naruto said, so that was a cannon? That wasn't some... Okay. As someone else walked up, Naruto was pretty sure he had seen him around Bisca. He was pretty sure his name started with a A. Said, we'll have to take it down. As Natsu rushed up with Happy grabbing him as they flew over. He started to hear Lucy say something before she stopped. Naruto looked behind him to see Lucy holding out her hand with her holding one of her keys. Mirror Jane was whispering something to her before leading her back to what was left of the guild hall. As Naruto thought about just water walking over there, he saw an explosion at the cannon. As everyone cheered. As they stopped cheering when they saw the thing transform into a giant mech. As Naruto just said, that's getting ridiculous. As the giant mech started moving its hand in a circle in the sky, as they said, oh god, they're prepping for a giant spell. As Naruto asked, how bad? Judging from where we're at, it's probably going to destroy the entire city. Naruto just gulped. He wasn't aware of anything that should just destroy a city. As they just said, we'll just have to go over there and defeat him. As Gray and Elfman started rushing over. But before Naruto could, someone said, look! As he looked up and saw a bunch of ghostly shadows. Hundreds flying at the members. As someone said, it's Josei's magic! As Naruto just said, and what are those? Shades, created by his magic. And someone said, so he can destroy them with impunity? As Naruto made a number of shadow clones with kunai ready, preparing for the battle. Naruto would be a little nerved out with the fact they look like ghosts, but he would quickly get over it as he rushed at him. As they swooped down, Naruto's clones would jump on him, stabbing him, as they were really easy to destroy. As the members were like, yeah, go Naruto! Go, yellow-haired kid, I can't remember your name! As Naruto felt exhilarated, thanks to his clones they were holding their own. As one of the clones had a shade pass through them. As instead of poofing away, they faded and broke apart. As Naruto said, someone else saying, they drain your magic power, watch out! With Naruto responding, thanks, I guess that explains what happened. As the fighting progressed, Naruto's clones would start to get whittled down just due to the numbers. But he was starting to develop a few new techniques. A few clones had found, since they were clones, they could use their abilities in line with paper bombs and explode. That managed to start taking out more shades. But to everyone's horror, there weren't less shades. If nothing else, there was the same. As Naruto just looked at the shade that had gone through one of his clones again, as it split into two, as he grit his teeth. As he said, I'm gonna protect them. That's my ninja way! Before rushing through, as he thought about using a Rasengan, but there's too many, and they're too easily destroyed. And plus, even for him, he started feeling chakra exhaustion at so many clones. As the shades actually backed off the attack for a minute, as Naruto looked up and saw that the giant mech had finished drawing the first layer of what seemed to be a giant circle as its speakers came on. The Phantom Lord Guildmaster would demand that they give over Lucy Heartfilia. As Naruto is beginning to be really worried about the escalation of this, as he thought he heard Lucy walk out, but he was pretty sure that looked like the same outfit Mara Jane was wearing, as the giant swooped down and picked her up. As Jose would say, "You think such disguises will trick me, a member of the 10 Wizard Saints?" As Naruto became even more concerned, Mara Jane used something like the transformation jutsu to disguise herself as Lucy, but it didn't work. As someone ran up right next to him, he was pretty sure his name was Loki, as he asked Naruto, "You think you can keep things steady here?" As Naruto said, "Yeah." As Loki said, "Glad to hear it. I'm gonna go check where we have Lucy stashed. I have a bad feeling." As he ran off, as the giant started writing letters into the circle, as even more wraiths to show up, as Naruto would begin tapping into the Nine-Tails chakra, just hoping to protect the people who had treated him so nicely. As the fight kept going, they would start to notice the giant would begin to slow. As Naruto would keep seeing his clones be destroyed, eventually he would begin to get weary on his feet. Even with the Nine-Tails power, he was only able to get so much. And with the wraiths constantly sucking away his chakra, it was hard for him to keep on his feet. This mechanical giant's head, and they would see people fighting. It seemed to be Natsu and someone else, but Naruto wasn't sure who it was. And right as it seemed that there was less activity, ray of light wipe out the rest of the wraiths. Naruto would be relieved, but then quickly realized the only thing keeping his body going was adrenaline, as not 2 minutes later, he would pass out from exhaustion. Naruto would wake up 2 days later, in a bed, in the local doctor's office. A couple minutes later, Fairytail members would start trickling in. Most of the other members had already recovered, Naruto being the only one that was in the hospital for so long. They were worried about him. Naruto was happy to hear that. As Makarov would be one of the last people to visit him. Naruto would ask Makarov how he was doing, since he had heard he didn't do so well after the first raid. Makarov chuckled, saying, "There will be consequences for Fairytail, but overall I'm doing okay. You had us all worried." As Naruto said, "Yeah, I've been told that before." As Makarov nodded, as he said, "You have a lot of potential, but overall it seems that you only know how to do a couple things." Naruto saying, "Yeah, I'm trying to get stronger." As Makarov said, "I see. Have you thought about joining Fairytail?" Naruto would say, "Well, the thought has kinda crossed my mind a couple times. But I have a lot of stuff back home I need to attend to. I have a friend I need to save, and some other stuff." Makarov said, "Yes, but have you thought of any way to get home?" Naruto would hang his head, saying, "No." As Makarov would say, "Yes. Well, I don't know how strong you're gonna get on your current course, with no training. But," Naruto popping his head up, "I could train you. But I think it would be best if you joined Fairytail. After all, it would allow you to make money while here, and it would help you accomplish your goal." Naruto would peek up at that, saying, "It would help?" Makarov said, "Maybe not at first, but it would give you access to things that might be otherwise hard to get." Naruto would nod, and said, "Would Fairytail have any objections to me going back home?" Makarov chuckled and said, "No. Many of our previous members have left for one reason or another, and we hold no grudges. Some are far away, but still hold the Fairytail mark proudly." As Naruto nodded, saying, "Even if it's for a little bit, I think I will join. Markov nodding and saying, well, I think I'm your first job. As Naruto said, what? Helping us rebuild the guild hall. As Naruto rolled his eyes. Was that whole thing just to get me to use my Shadow Clone to rebuild the guild hall? As Markov said, no. Even though it may have been a little bit of encouragement. As Naruto, after 2 days of being in bed and fully rested and healed, would get out of bed. Unfortunately, he would be arrested by the Magic Council 2 minutes later and have to spend a week being interrogated. I hope you like this compilation video. If you like content like this, including a new series I'll be coming out with soon, and then after I do that, I'll make another compilation video of it, and probably go back to this what if it does well, and any of that sounds interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. And this will be Spurry, signing off.